during the time of great tribulation, during the time of persecution, anti-Semitic persecution, there is going to be a message that's going to be preached throughout the nations of the earth that the kingdom is coming. The restoration of the kingdom to Israel of the Davidic reign. Jesus, you do know, is coming to sit on the throne of David. You do know that. You have to know that. A lot of times we don't know it because we as the Gentile church has replaced Israel. But the scriptures do not replace Israel. The scriptures, hallelujah, fulfill Israel at the end of the age. And so it's important that we recognize that this preaching of the gospel of the kingdom is talking about the kingdom to Israel being restored. It's important that we recognize that that kingdom is the Davidic kingdom, the restoration of the tabernacle of David. It's important that we recognize that this message is sent throughout the world to the Jew first, and then to the Gentile. To the Jew first. It's important that we recognize that this message is a message that's going to be spread throughout the world as a witness of his return to the Jew first. Then, and in addition to the Gentiles. Now, why the nations? Why the message in the nations? Why is the message being sent throughout the nations about the restoration of the tabernacle of David, about the restoration of the kingdom to Israel? Why is this message being heralded throughout the nations, both in Matthew and in Acts? It's being heralded throughout the nations. And both in Matthew and in Acts, we are still primarily talking to Jews about Jews being reaching Jews. Listen, you gotta hear me. I know it sounds like heresy because we have replaced Israel so that in the body of Messiah, we think everything is talking about us. We think everything is talking about Gentiles. Listen, when we talk about Matthew 24:14, we're talking about a Jewish man talking to his Jewish clan, the disciples, and he's in a Jewish land telling a Jewish clan to preach the gospel of the restoration of the kingdom of David to Israel in all the world. In Acts 1, again, it's a Jewish man talking to a Jewish clan in a Jewish land about a message and a witness to Jews first, scattered throughout the nation, and the Gentiles also. But we've made it primarily the Gentiles. When we talk about the gospel being preached in the nations from Matthew 24:14, all we talk about is everybody hearing the message and the nations basically hearing the gospel, and once every nation has heard the gospel, then the end will come. That's not what that's talking about. We are talking about in Matthew 24 and Acts 1, the scattered Jews throughout the nation. There's been a scattering of Jews throughout the nations. And in the nations where there is a scattering of Jews, there will be great persecution of Jews at the same time that in Israel there is great persecution of Jews throughout Israel. There will be persecution of Jews in every nation. Listen. You can see the picture of this when Hamas attacked Israel on October the 7th, 2023. In the nations of the earth, anti-Semitism began to arise. Protests and marches and riots began to break out in the nations, not just in Muslim nations that were supportive of Palestinians that had basically just butchered 1,000 Jews on October 7th. Not just Muslim nations, the nations, westernized nations, the United States, all over, there was a rise in anti-Semitism that is rising to this day. Jews in the nations, when the persecution and the tribulation in Jerusalem and Israel increases, it's also going to increase in the nations. The message, the good news message of the gospel of the kingdom being restored to Israel is going to be preached in all the nations where Jews have been scattered, and to Gentiles. I know we want to make it about Gentiles. Listen, it's the other way around.